Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today. It's all about artificial general intelligence, AGI. And we're going to be looking at Sam Altman's blog post, Three Observations. It's a really thought-provoking piece.
Yeah, definitely thought-provoking. What really struck me was how certain Altman seems about us being on the verge of AGI, like systems that can solve complex problems, at a human level.
And not just in like specific niches, right? Like he's
Mm.
talking across the board.
Exactly. It's not just about, playing games or writing poems. This is about AGI that can tackle problems in any field.
So it's a pretty big deal. He compares it to other huge inventions like electricity or the internet. But he goes even further. He says this time it's different. Why does he think AGI is so much bigger?
Well, he points to the speed of AI development. It's been exponential. And he really believes we're on a trajectory to AGI, faster than most people think.
So, okay, let's say he's right. What could AGI actually solve? What kind of problems that are beyond us right now? Oh, tons of things. Imagine personalized education plans for every kid, read by AI. That could lead to so many more skilled professionals.
Yeah.
You could see global GDP skyrocket. Or how about AI that predicts pandemics before they even start?
That would be incredible. Those aren't just like fantasies either.
Right. If AGI works the way it could, these are real possibilities.
Okay, so AGI is a game changer, potentially. But how do we even get there? Altman has these three key observations about the economics of AI. And the first one is really interesting. He says intelligence scales with resources.
Yeah, that's a big one. He's not just talking about algorithms either. He means the computing power, the data we feed these AIs,
Yeah.
and all the resources to run them.
It's like the more we put in, the smarter they get.
It was a bit more nuanced than that.
Yeah.
He talks about this log relationship.
Okay, so not just like a straight line up. What does that mean, the log relationship?
Think of it like building a skyscraper. The first few floors, you need a certain amount of materials, right? But to go higher and higher, each new floor needs way more stuff.
Okay, so the higher we go with AI intelligence, the more we got to put in to get to the next level.
Exactly. It's not a simple one-to-one thing.
So then his second observation is even more wild. He says the cost of using AI is plummeting, like seriously dropping.
10 times cheaper every 12 months. Can you believe that? Think about Moore's law.
Yeah.
That totally changed tech, and it was doubling power every 18 months. This is way fast.
So the AI is getting cheaper and cheaper, like insanely fast.
Which means it's more accessible to more people, which fuels development even more. It's crazy.
And that takes us to his third observation. The socioeconomic value of increasing intelligence is super exponential.
This is where it gets really exciting. So as AI gets smarter and cheaper, the value it creates explodes.
So it's like a feedback loop.
Totally, like a snowball effect. You invest in AI, it gets better, creates more value, more people invest. It just keeps going and going.
And Altman thinks the snowball is heading straight for AGI.
He really does. He talks about a future where AGI is driving economic growth, helping cure diseases, unlocking creativity. He even says in a decade, everyone on Earth could be achieving more than the most impactful person can today.
That's a huge statement, but what does that even look like practically? How would AGI be part of our lives? He mentions this idea of AI agents being like our coworkers.
Yeah, like imagine you had an AI agent that could do the work of like a top software engineer, at least for smaller projects.
So it's like having a super smart assistant.
Way more than an assistant. It's like a whole team of experts right there in your computer. Now multiply that by thousands, millions of people, all with these AI agents in every field imaginable.
That's wild. Altman even compares the impact of AGI to the transistor, something that kind of changed everything.
Right, like we don't think about transistors every day, but they're the foundation of so much of our technology.
And he's saying AI could be like that, just integrated into everything.
Everywhere. In our homes, our cars, our workplaces, making everything smart. It might be so subtle at first that we don't even notice. But the way we live and work, totally different.
So maybe our day-to-day doesn't seem that different in the short term. We'll still have all the normal stuff.
Of course, we'll still be human, but the long term, for society, for the economy, that's where the huge changes come in.
New jobs, new ways of interacting, basically a whole new world.
And to navigate that world, we'll need new skills. We'll have to be learning and adapting constantly just to keep up.
It really does feel like that. Like we're standing on the edge of something totally new, all this potential. But we need a whole new way of thinking to even approach it.
Yeah, and that's where Altman gets into agency and willfulness, adaptability. He's not saying we just sit back and let AGI happen to us. He's talking about shaping it.
Okay, shaping the future sounds great. But what does that even mean practically? How much control can we actually have over something as powerful as AGI?
Well, we have to understand the downsides too, right? Not just the good stuff. We've talked economics. But what about society? How will AGI change our relationships, power structures, when everyone has this level of intelligence?
It's a lot to consider, and that makes Altman's point about uneven impact even more interesting. He says science could see huge acceleration because of AGI.
Oh, absolutely. Medicine, materials science, space exploration. AI could make research and development so much faster, leading to breakthroughs we can't even imagine right now. But what about other areas, like manufacturing, agriculture, even the arts? How do AGI change those?
That's a good question. Altman seems to think AGI could make things way cheaper, like everyday goods. More people could afford more stuff. But he also says luxury items, scarce resources, those prices might go way up. How do we balance those forces?
Public policy is going to be crucial. Altman talks about a balance between safety
Hmm.
and individual empowerment. We can't stifle innovation, but we can't just let AGI run wild.
Finding that balance is going to be tough, especially with AI changing so fast,
Mhm.
all the time.
For sure. And this conversation needs to happen now, not later. Altman actually talks about the danger of AI in the wrong hands, like authoritarian governments.
It's a chilling thought, governments using AI for surveillance to control people.
Exactly. So we have to make sure AI is developed ethically with checks and balances.
And it's not just governments, right? Corporations, research labs, individuals even, everyone plays a role in making sure AI is used ethically.
Absolutely. It's a huge responsibility.
So big picture stuff is important, but let's bring it back down to the individual for a
Yeah.
second.
Because ultimately,
Yeah.
it's individual people who are most affected by AGI in their jobs, relationships, even their sense of self.
So what can someone do to be prepared for this future, to embrace the good parts of AGI and avoid the bad?
It goes back to what Allman said. Agency, willfulness,
Yeah.
adaptability. Don't just wait for it to happen. Be part of shaping it. Learn about AI. Talk about the ethics. Be willing to change your skills as the tech changes.
Be proactive, not reactive. Take charge of your future in this world that AI is shaping.
That's it. And remember, AGI is a tool. It's up to us how we use it, what values we build into it, what kind of future we create with it.
We've talked a lot about the big stuff, economics, society, but what about just us as people? How will AGI change how we think, how we learn, even how we experience the world?
That's where things get really fascinating. Imagine having a personal AI tutor that teaches you anything, adapted to how you learn best,
Yeah.
or using AI to boost your creativity, explore new art forms, connect with people all over the world in ways we never could before.
It's like pushing the limits of what it means to be human.
In a way, yeah. And that ties into Altman's vision. Everyone having access to the intelligence of everyone alive today. Think of what we could create, the problems we could solve, the innovations we could make with that level of collective intelligence.
It's a powerful idea, but it also brings up some important questions. Like, if everyone has access to that much intelligence, how do we make sure it's fair? And how do we keep people from abusing it? Using this amazing tech for bad stuff.
Those are huge questions. And that's where Altman gets into public policy. He's saying this can't just be a tech thing. It has to be a societal thing, too.
So it's not enough to just build smarter AI. We have to build a smarter world around it.
Mm.
So what kind of policies does Altman think are important?
He's a big believer in launching products early and often, almost like constant beta testing for AGI. So society and the tech can grow together.
That makes sense. People need time to adapt. And policymakers need to see how things work before they can make good rules.
Right. We can't just throw AGI out there
Mm.
and then try to deal with the fallout later. It's got to be a back and forth.
Constant process.
Yeah. And each step of the way, we need to think about the big questions. Control, privacy, what work even means. Imagine a world where everything is smart, powered by AI. Does anyone have any real autonomy? Are these systems even designed with human values in mind?
It's like we're building a brand new world, and we need the right rules if we actually want to live in it.
Altman actually suggests that we might have to give people more control over AI
Yeah.
than we ever have with other tech.
How do you even do that? Give people more control over AI.
It could mean a lot of things. Maybe open sourcing the tech, maybe letting people opt out of certain AI systems.
Yeah.
It's tricky, though.
Because you need some collective action, right? What if someone opts out of a medical AI? That
Yeah.
could save their life.
Yeah, these are the dilemmas, the ethical and societal stuff we're going to have to wrestle with. As AGI gets more powerful, there are no easy answers. We need open discussions, people thinking hard about these things, and being willing to change our minds as the technology keeps developing.
We talked about the risks with governments, authoritarian ones, but corporations could misuse AI too, even individuals. How do we protect against that?
Altman knows about these risks. He says we need to be doing a few things. Transparency is huge, and accountability in AI development, making sure these aren't just black boxes that no one understands.
So it's not just about the tech itself. It's about the people who make it and their intentions.
Exactly. And that brings us back to Altman's vision. Everyone having the intelligence of everyone alive today is powerful and hopeful. But we have to think about the ethics, the societal impact, the politics of it all.
This has been an amazing deep dive. And honestly, I think we've only just started to explore what AGI could mean for us. But at least we've talked about some of the big questions, the challenges we're going to face as a society.
For sure. And in the end, it's up to all of us to have these conversations, learn about AGI, and fight for a future where it's used for good, ethically.
So that's it for this deep dive. But we want to leave you with a thought. What's your role going to be in this future with AGI? What can you do today to make sure this tech is used the right way? It's time for all of us to start asking those questions because the future is being built now.
Thanks for listening, everyone.